good people, and welcome again to Wafu TV. This is the channel where we facilitate the understanding of elementary mathematics, and we equally guide teachers and parents on how to assist their kids with basic elementary mathematics. Last time we dwelt on mathematical expressions, and we promised that today we are going to look at something more juicy. And of course, today we are going to add flesh to what we did last time. So an understanding of what we did in our last lesson will be very important in today's lesson. That notwithstanding, if you missed it, you can go to our channel on our Facebook page and review what was done to set the foundation for the understanding of our future lessons. Without waste of time, today we'll be looking at simple mathematical equations. And our target or our main objective is to be able to solve simple mathematical equations. Before we go into solving some examples, what is an equation in the first place? An equation, in simple terms, we'll define it as two expressions connected by an equal to sign. So if you have an expression, two mathematical expressions joined by an equal to sign, we call that a mathematical equation. And in mathematical equations, there are certain key terms that we have to understand so that as we get along and this is being used, you will not face difficulties when these terms are mentioned. Remember, they are recurrent. We always have to mention them along as we solve equations. So what are these terms, or what are the different aspects or parts of a mathematical equation? First, if you have an equation as such, 3x is equal to 6, 3 stands for what we call the coefficient. X is the unknown, or we call it the variable. 6 is the constant. This other side of the equal to sign, we call it the left-hand side, LHS. And after the equal sign to this right hand, we call it the right-hand side, RHS. These terms, you find them basically as you're going along. And so if you find any of these terms, do not get confused, because these are the terminologies used in solving mathematical equations. Now, for our better understanding, let's solve the first example and see how to apply what we have just talked about. Here is our first example. Before we go into solving, I would like to explain just a few things, give a few tips on what to do to successfully solve a mathematical equation. First, we have to do all to be left with x, because this is what we are looking for. And to do that, you eliminate all what you have, like the coefficient of x. Another thing to take note of is that what you do to the left-hand side, you do equally to the right-hand side. And what do you do to eliminate all these numbers and only be left with x? You are supposed to do the opposite of the sign that you have here. For instance, here, this is subtraction. So to do away with 12, you have to add, to do the opposite of subtraction, which is addition. And once you add to the left-hand side, you add equally to the right-hand side. Here, in our mathematical expressions, we learned that 3x means 3 times x. So to do away with 3, instead of multiplying, we will divide, so that we'll eliminate 3. And once we divide on the left-hand side, we equally divide on the right-hand side. So these are tips that will help you to understand mathematical equation and to solve without having any issues. So the first step, as far as this is concerned, is to do away with 12, to eliminate 12. And to eliminate 12, you restate this first. Let's say 3x minus 12 is equal to 9. To eliminate 12, we've said since they are subtracting, we have to add. This implies that 3x minus 12 plus 12 is equal to 9 plus 12. Since we have added 12 here, you equally add 12 to the right-hand side. And this 12 will go away. We will be left on the left-hand side. You will be left only with 3x. This has gone. 3x will be equal to 9 plus 12, which is equal to 21. Now we have to remove or to eliminate 3 and here they are multiplying. So what we do, we divide. 3x divided by 3 is equal to 21 divided by 3. And this 3 will simplify this one. 3 here one time. 3 into 21 is 7 times. Therefore, x is equal to 7. This is the basic thing that you are supposed to do as far as simple mathematical equations are concerned. I want to re-emphasize one thing. To eliminate the coefficient of x or the numbers that you have on the left hand side, you do the opposite of the sign that you find. If there is addition, you subtract. If there is subtraction, you add. If there is multiplication, you divide. And if there is division, you simply multiply. And what you do to the left hand side, you remember to do the same thing to the right hand side. These are very important as far as this is concerned. So we are going to do the second example for better understanding. This is our second example, and it says, what is the value of m in m divided by 3, or m all over 3 is equal to 5. We have said, first, you eliminate the coefficient of m, or coefficient of the unknown, and what we do to the left hand side, we equally do it to the right hand side. So we are going to restate by writing m all over 3 is equal to 5. On the left hand side, the question says m is divided by 3. So to eliminate 3, we are going to multiply. So we take m all over 3 times 3 is equal to 5 times 3. What we've done to the left hand side, we equally do it to the right hand side. You can just put this all over 1 to make it look neat, and this 3 will simplify this 3. So on the left hand side, you are left only with m, and m is equal to 5 times 3, which is 15. This is the second example, and I believe if you did not understand this, you must have understood this one. And that's what we had for you today, believing that you can now solve simple mathematical equations. Follow us in our next lesson as we are going to introduce algebra. This will be as interesting as our previous lessons. Don't miss it. Ciao.